So I think first I just want to do a recap of what's been going on. So hopefully this link, wow, I've like never looked at myself horizontally in this big ass screen before. I'm using a Apple iPhone 14 Pro. So anyway, it's a little recap. So I've been kind of, sorry, I don't have guidelines, which makes this a little bit hard to line up straight. But yeah, I just wanted to do a recap because I've been missing a little bit from the YouTube game. It's just been a really hectic last several weeks, and I just felt really overwhelmed to have to keep on pumping out YouTube videos as well as doing everything else. So just a quick recap of what happened is basically this brand AsColour, if you all know AsColour, they make very premium blanks, one of my favorite providers. This hat is actually from AsColour. This shirt is from LA Apparel, my other favorite brand for blanks. But basically, AsColour approached me and wanted to do a collaboration, which was freaking dope. If you all haven't checked it out yet, go to my Instagram, IKendoit.Studio, and there's some clips and pictures of what happened. So basically, I took on the role of production, design, and I also DJ'd a set with my partner Ryan and our team, Jay and Ray. So it was like a cool experience of just bringing everything together from music to clothing to production and everything into one spot. So if y'all haven't checked it out yet, I'll leave a link in the description box to the AsColour blog so you can look at it. But it's just really cool because it was an opportunity that I was not expecting to happen, and it just kind of rolled up. And yeah, sometimes like when stuff like this happens, like even if you feel like it's a little bit out of your reach or comfort zone, you just gotta go for it because you never know what it might lead to next. So that's been really dope. And next, I did a pop-up shop this past weekend in the Bay. I was gonna do a vlog, but I'm not like the type to walk around with a camera. I really don't like being that like content creator person. Like I just like being low key and doing my thing. So that's why like you don't have a lot of vlogs and all these like different types of content for me, because I just don't enjoy it, to be honest. Like I just enjoy setting up the camera and speaking like this. So I hope y'all don't mind. If you want to see vlogs and whatnot, let me know, because I definitely can talk about what I do and like, you know, how I live day to day, since I think this is a story worth sharing. Like I for a long time, I didn't think what I did was important or special. I'm not saying it's like important in any way. I'm just making clothing and designing, but I think there's a bigger picture to be shared, which is like running a business as someone who doesn't come from a lot of money, someone who, you know, just worked hard and made decisions that thankfully has worked out and still grinding every day, you know? And I just want to be like that kind of role model for people who are out there trying to make this happen, because it is a lot of fucking work. But once you get stuff to work for you, once you feel like you have a good handle on everything, like it's probably the best feeling in the world, is being in control of what you do, being in control of your time, being in control of your finances. There's a lot of things that you don't really get this kind of feeling with. Like having a job is cool, there's nothing wrong with it, but you don't have a sense of actual ownership. You're just working for someone else. And it's a great way to get experience, it's a great way to get money, you know? Like there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a job. Like I had a job for my whole life pretty much until 3 years ago when I started this company. And then I've been full-time since last June, I think. So yeah, it's been over a year, which is great because now I have something to back myself up on. It's weird to talk about like being an entrepreneur, being like a freelancer and all this, like when you haven't been doing it for a long time, especially if you don't have results to show it. So that was why I didn't want to be sharing the journey, because I just didn't feel like, I don't know, it's like the imposter syndrome thing where I didn't feel that I was in that right position to be like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing, you know, I'm making it happen, because I wasn't, you know, and I still am day to day fighting, like making sure I get sales, making sure that I do my social media stuff. Like there's a lot that I have to do every single day. And now that I'm in this position, you know, 2-3 years later, having a company that pays for everything, that I can live on, like that's just why I'm here. I want to share with you all that this is very possible. It is really fucking hard, but you know, everything in life that is worthwhile is going to take a lot of effort. And this is why like I love doing what I do, because when you think back to what you did every single day, it's so much more impactful in your mind than like, oh, I just passed around some documents for someone, or you know, you just bullshit your way around work. So I don't know if there's a chat going on. If there is, that'd be cool. I'm gonna open up my computer real fast, but yeah, thank you to the viewer. What's up? What's up? I was just saying how I haven't been here in a minute because I've been really busy. I did a collab with AsColour, which is a very premium clothing brand. I'm struggling. Clothing brand that provides blanks. So if you haven't checked it out yet, AsColour is actually one of my favorite brands that I use. This hat's from AsColour. Still sold out, waiting for them to restock. They have awesome t-shirts. Their hoodies are okay, not my favorite to be honest, but their faded heavy tees are so fucking amazing. Like great fit, great weight, materials are awesome, like the print comes really good on it. And the only problem is it's a little bit expensive, so if it's out of your budget, then it might be a little bit too much, you know? But yeah. And then LA Apparel, this is the 1801 mineral wash matcha colorway. So I did a bonsai drawing and basically, not a drawing, graphic I should say, I don't draw. So yeah, I did a bonsai graphic and letting the green speak for the leaves, and then the white just kind of like covers the rest of the shirt. So, all right, this stream is titled Embroidery Live. So let's get to the embroidery machine. I'm gonna show you all the whole process from the moment you hoop it all the way to the moment it's done. It might get a little noisy, so if the embroidery noise is bothering you, just mute the video while it's running. But I do have this little thing on, so hopefully this is covering some of the noise, because I do also have an AC unit right behind this, and I know that this kind of helps a little bit. So let's get to the machine. One day I'll figure out how to do this with a DSLR. But yeah, this is the lab. Welcome to the lab. Okay. We'll go from this angle. So this is the cap hooping station. This is where it all starts. I'm gonna go grab this hat because I actually just did it. But here is the finished product. It's the drum bass dad hat with my logo on the side. So yeah, we're gonna be doing this real quick. This one came out really good. So we're gonna unhoop this. These clips are here for stability. It helps with making sure that the surface doesn't move, because that's the biggest issue with registration, is when people don't hoop their shit correctly and then they blame the machine. So don't be like those people. All right, so this is the cap hoop. If you can see here, this thing comes very tight. So if you get a Ricoma or I don't know, any other hat machine and you can't fit the bill of the hat, just make sure you loosen this up. I loosened it a little bit with the screws here. So now it kind of flaps a little bit, but it's not too loose where it comes off. So we're gonna go here. We've got some stabilizer. This is 2.5 ounce, I think, or 3 ounce stabilizer from Madeira. They're cut like this, so it's easy to use for hats, and that way I don't have to cut it. And this is tearaway, meaning that once the embroidery is done, you just rip this off and you're chilling. So I folded it in half because when you embroider on a thin fabric, like a dad hat, because this is 100% cotton, right? It's a canvas hat. It's really, really thin. And what happens with thin materials is that when the needle and the thread are getting stitched together, what happens is it starts pulling on the fabric. So the stabilizer is there to keep the fabric from pulling on, or for the thread to stop pulling on the fabric. And depending on the fabric, sometimes you'll have to use like a sticky adhesive or a sticky spray. So if y'all have seen my nylon shorts, I actually use a sticky spray that's over there in the box. But yeah, so right now we don't need that for a dad hat. So I'm gonna show you how I hoop it, and then we will go from there. Yep, so this is where it starts, and I got the mighty hoop down here. So I'm gonna grab this guy, hover it, and then because I do have a hit on the left side, I like kind of lopsided that way, so that we'll bring this camera in a little bit more here. Yeah, it's like kind of lopsided, so that, oops, this is a tough angle. All right, we're gonna go right here. Yeah, so it's lopsided because we need to get to this part, and we need stabilizer over there too. So I'm gonna pull the bill back, or not the bill, sorry, the sweatband. Gonna nicely bring it over here, make sure that the stabilizer is also still in the right place. And then the tough part is getting the sweatband underneath this little metal thing, but you just gotta kind of tug on it. And like I said, if you loosen it slightly, it makes life a little bit easier. And I have a technique that kind of works. These new sweatbands are actually really, really thick for some reason, so it's been a little bit harder, but all right, so now we're on, and then I'm gonna pull on the edges here, make sure that all the sweatband is turned inside out. And then the most important part is this thing right here. When you latch it down, make sure that the top of the hat right here is on the teeth, because I see some people that do their hats like this, and your hats are gonna look like shit. So make sure you run the teeth on the bill right here, on the seam, or else your hats are gonna come out looking like garbage. So we got it here, and then I like to kind of just tug on it, pull back a little bit, and then we're gonna clamp it. Oh, since I did that demo of an incorrect hoop, I did it incorrectly, but all right, so we're gonna try this one more time. Loop it in. Cool, that sounded good. Everything is straight. So, if you did it right, what it should look like is there's like minimal fabric bunching up here. We can always pull this back with the clips, and then up here as well, you can see that it's straight, and the band is right here. And that's the most important part, is you have to make sure that the teeth of this band is on this seam. If it's above it, your hats are gonna look like shit. So we're gonna move this over here. Sorry for all the camera movement. And it's slightly messy right now because yeah, let's not talk about that. It's just a little messy. Don't judge my life. We're just trying to get this done here. So, okay, so we got the hat, right? We're gonna bring it in, turn it 90 degrees, and then you'll get the infamous 3 clicks. Now we're clipped in, and then we're gonna start with the front first. So I'm gonna just pull this back, and what I found that helps is that pull this back when it's on the actual driver, not like when you're just hooping it, because this way you can really like ensure that this seam is centered, is straight, and then you're pulling back enough to remove all that slack so you don't get any weird registration problems. So you just kind of pull on the sides and then clip it back. And now this surface looks very good. And we can do a close-up on the interface real fast, because I know this interface is pretty special. And I think it's a pretty big selling point of the machine itself. So here we got, oh, all right, I guess we'll just go here. So yeah, so this is the interface. Is my thing dirty? Hold on, let me just. All right, maybe that made things a little bit better. Okay, so here's the interface. Got the design here. It tells you the stitch count, how much is done, and then the cap and all this stuff, thread colors. You can see like the sizing of the artwork. Sorry if the resolution isn't as good. I think this camera is just not performing well because we're on live. But yeah, and you can control the speed, embroidery mode, and all this other stuff. So I'm just gonna skip that part because I have other videos that cover it, and I'm just gonna set this down so it's easier for y'all. I'm gonna move this because it looks ugly in the back. I always have a duster because there's always dust from the hats and the boxes. So okay, what we wanna do is basically we wanna center it to the needle. So right now it's on 2, but when you trace, it's gonna go on 1. So I'm just gonna use this for a reference. So we got 2 right here. And what I mean by centering is you want the needle to be right in the middle, right? Simple. And then once we click on trace, it's gonna move the needle to 1, and it's gonna draw a boundary around what it wants to embroider. So it goes to 1, boom, 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 boom. And you wanna do this because you wanna ensure that this needle doesn't hit the fucking hoop, because if it hits the hoop, you're done for. Something's gonna break. So it's always good to test and make sure that you're in the boundaries. So yeah, that's why you wanna hold it down, because this is the path. And then you see that we're clearing, and I like where it's at. So yeah, we're just gonna let it rip. Thread color is gonna be white, and we're gonna run it at 650 stitches per minute. And it should be done in about 7 minutes. I'm gonna move that way. All right, it's gonna be done in 9 minutes, a little bit more than that. And here's the progress. I really like this a lot. This is like my favorite part of this, is watching the progress screen. Especially because that way when something goes wrong, you can always refer back. All right, so while that's running, let's just recap a little bit about what's going on. So as long as the machine is fine, we shouldn't have any issues having to go look at it. I replaced the bobbin yesterday, so I don't think I'll run out of any thread, but if I do, I'll show you all how easy it is to replace the bobbin. You literally just like swap out the spool at the end of the machine. But let me just double check, make sure that the audio is working. Okay, cool, the audio's working, we're good. Maybe I should use a filter. I feel like this is kind of washed out. That looks terrible. Is that better? It's a little bit better, a little bit more color. All right, we will run it with this color. But yeah, just running the machine right now. We'll go back to it once it's almost done, just because like we don't need to watch the machine work. You know, it's not very exciting. But I've had this machine since March now, March or April. So it's been almost 5 months. Yeah, it's been almost 5 months. So it's been excellent, killing it for me. Like the amount of hats I've been selling has been like absolutely crazy. And it's just something that I think a lot of people need to consider is, sorry, it kind of slowed down. So I was like, did something go wrong? But yeah, the thing with like owning your own equipment is that yes, it takes time, yes, it takes money, but once you start selling, or like if you already have a customer base, you're saving so much money and time because you're running all your own stuff. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people think about. Is there's two sides to it. One is yes, like you save money, right? But two is like it takes time to do it. So if you're not interested in making clothing, like being hands-on with it, then getting equipment, despite the fact that you save money, is not worth it, because now you don't have any time, because now you're making hats all the time like me, you know? So that's just something to consider. Is yeah, there's advantages, but there's also disadvantage, right? Like to me, the biggest advantage is as a designer, as a creative person, as a brand owner, if I make something, I can have it embroidered the next day. Versus before, if I design something, I have to talk to my embroidery person, I have to pay for sample fees, I have to get it digitized, and then I'll get it in like 2 weeks. And then if it doesn't look good, I have to run another sample with them, right? So I'm eliminating that extra step that it takes to get to that final product, because now I can go from concept to product in like 4 days versus before it would take like 3 weeks. So just put that into perspective. Like that way you can launch a product way before anyone else. And then also you can also mitigate your own risk, because if you go somewhere, you have to order units, right? You can't just order one piece, and you can't even do it on demand. But if you do it through your own machine, I can just make one sample. And if the sample looks good, I can take pictures, I can do lifestyle images, I can do all the videos, and then I put it online. And if it flops, then, well, fuck, it flopped, but I only wasted like, 2 days worth of work and like one sample. Versus if I ordered 100 hats, no one wants the hat, now I'm stuck with 100 hats. And I'll be down however much that costs. Like, I don't know, $800 maybe, $8 a hat. So that's the advantage of having your own machine, is like you get to just launch products without taking a lot of risk. So it's just awesome way to keep your website like flowing with new product. And also I do have a hunch that there is a boost that you get from like ads and stuff when you upload new products, especially when you do ASC Plus, which is Advantage Plus, because I think it like refreshes the ad to some extent. It's just something I've been observing. I'm not sure if it's correct, but I've noticed that whenever I post a new product, I get my own ad on that new product like the same day or the next day. Versus if I don't do anything, I don't really see anything happening. So right now, embroidery machine is about, I think we're about 60% done. Yeah, we're cranking away. I do like this filter better, by the way. I don't look as pale.
Yeah, we're cranking away. I do like this filter
Except I don't see it.
better, by the way. I don't look as
Yeah, I don't see it. Well, that's kind of whack. I don't see it on my live stream on the computer. But yeah, anywho, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Like, I always read through everything. I try to respond to everything. As long as like the questions make sense, and if I don't answer it in a video, then I'm always down to answer them. But if you ask a question that I'm literally like talking about, I'm just like, are you even fucking listening? Or if I make a video and the first question is like, where do you get this? It's like, dude, please just like fucking watch the video. Attack Angle, what's up? Thanks for the first thumbs up on this video. I didn't realize it was gonna pop up like that. But yeah, I'm just doing a little recap on everything. Machine's running right now. A little preview right here. We're running it back here. I'll do a close-up once it's done. Just didn't want the sound of the embroidery machine to be so close to the microphone, because I also do have a AC unit behind this, so there's a lot of noise, and I don't know how annoying this is on the video side. I hope it's not too bad. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about embroidery machine. It's what I've been up to. How come my uploads have slowed down a little bit, and I just want to see. Oh, that's a good question. I actually talked about that earlier in the beginning. But so basically, I've known Wyatt from AsColour for many, many years. I met him when AsColour first started getting distributed to the US. We found it really early because we went to like a DTG sample room, and the guy that was sampling the machines, like we kind of were like, whatever. This is like 2017, I think. And we really liked the shirt, because back in like 2016, 2017, the best shirts up then was like, this is embarrassing to say, but I feel like American Apparel 2001 was the best shirt. People like the scoop tees with like, you know, the scallop cut. So Cotton Heritage had those shirts. And the word heavy tees didn't mean like more than 6 ounces. Like there was a time like that, if we all can remember that time. Or if there was blanks, like it was very, very expensive or very inaccessible to the majority of the people buying it. So anyway, basically I've known AsColour for a long time. Always kept in contact with Wyatt, and they wanted to feature an artist, like a designer or a musician. And if y'all don't know, I used to be more of a producer DJ, like main time, full time. And yeah, I mean, I still have a catalog. It's on YouTube, it's on SoundCloud. You know, if you want to check out my music, it's Mizu Official. But basically, he wanted like an artist to feature, and I was like, well, I still produce music to a certain extent in terms of like videos. We do this DJ set called No Trace. If y'all haven't checked it out, No Trace at LA on YouTube, where we go to random locations, we set up, we have a drum, we have a camera guy, we have us, and then like we just fucking throw a set down, we record it, and then, you know, you can watch it while you study, you party, you just need music. You know, it's kind of like filling that void of like, oh, we need live music, but you don't have to be at an event, you know, which was pretty big during COVID. But anyway, so that event coincidentally overlapped with the day that they needed to feature an artist. So I was like, yo, let's just do, like, do you want to feature my like band, like, my group, you know? And because I'm a designer, I use AsColour, I'm a clothing guy, like it just made sense, because now they provided me with the blanks, and then I did heat press, embroidery, hat press, like, you know, I did everything that is like clothing brand based, and then I also got to do my music thing. So it was a really cool like project that just kind of encompassed my entire business and my career. So yeah, it was really dope that the AsColour email blast went out, because I didn't even know they were gonna do that, to be honest. Like I knew that they had a blog and the, you know, social media stuff, because I actually made most of the pictures too. Like I did all the edits. I took most of the pictures indoors when I wasn't in it. And then, yeah, I edited the reels and I edited everything. I did the fucking hats, I did the shirts, like most of the shirts, or the bags, sorry. So yeah, so I don't know, it was like hella busy. I had to do all this shit. So I had to put YouTube on the side for a minute. And then I had a pop-up shop last weekend. So it's just been a lot of work. And as much as I love making these videos and like being active on YouTube, because YouTube is like that long-term goal, it just got too crazy, so I had to put it on side. But anyway, that's why I'm doing live, because I figured live's a good way to just like have videos up here without having to produce the videos, as long as I'm doing similar stuff. So that is the answer. A very long roundabout answer to your question about how I got featured on the AsColour email blast was that collaboration that went through. And because, you know, I'm a designer, I'm an artist, and I've been using AsColour for years, it's like, it just kind of made all sense. So yeah, that is the project. But it was really cool because I know that the email went out to everybody that's in the industry, so I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. And yeah, it's just like a good reminder to let people know I'm alive, I'm doing well, and shit's working out. So we're gonna go back to the embroidery machine real fast. Bring it back, bring it back. All right, so we are done here. If you want to stick around, stick around. If you don't want to watch this embroidery part, it's no problem. But yeah, so we're done with the front. It looks excellent here. So I'm gonna switch the artwork to my other artwork. So let's just do this real quick. The way we do this is we have to push embroidery mode whenever it's done, which is a little annoying. We're gonna do that. But it basically locks the machine so you can't like touch anything. We're gonna go to select design, machine, favorites. I can do it logo hat, select. Yeah, attack angle, no problem. Thank you for asking, I appreciate it. Then we're gonna move this to the side because we want it to be over here. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna move this back to tripod mode. And then again, I'm gonna adjust this slightly, but this surface looks pretty good. It's nice and tight. I found a trick with the side of the hat is I tilt the artwork 3 degrees to the right for dad hats and then -3 degrees for snapbacks. Why is it different? I don't know, but that's what I found out to make it look more centered. So we're gonna adjust this, bring it close to the edge as possible without getting too risky. Get the setup mode, put the trace down, and you can see it didn't hit anything, so we're good. We're gonna trace it one more time because I like to get a little bit risky with this. All right, cool. We're gonna go home, bring a little bit more. Okay, and then make sure that the thread is chilling right here. Gonna push start. And this is gonna take like 2 minutes. So this isn't too bad. Yep. So I usually do a tonal, I like to do a tonal hit with the with my logo because I don't want people to be like, oh, I like this design, but I don't like this logo. You know, it's like something that I don't want people to be hindered by something that is not the main focus of the brand or not the main focus of the piece of garment or hat or whatever. So that's why like I don't care if my logo is muted. As long as it's on there, people are gonna know like, oh, this is from that brand, I can do it, or something that I've seen on Instagram or whatever. And oh yeah, speaking of, so when I was on the flight going to SF, there was a dude wearing one of my shirts. And I thought he was going to the event that I was going to because last year when I did this event, people picked up my clothing. But this person was a complete random. So that was really dope to see because that was very unexpected. And I asked him like, oh yeah, how'd you find this shirt? He's like, oh, I just saw it at an Instagram, it was dope, and yeah, I really like this shirt. So that was super dope to see. Like, I don't know, it never gets old to like see your stuff in the wild, especially when you least expect it. And to be honest, like, I don't really see my clothes that often. Like, I've seen it several times, but not as much as like I want to in the future. So yeah. Oh, okay, the machine's done. That was a super easy one. Yeah, that's the beauty with the side hits, is that takes like 1 minute, as you all saw, but the other part took like 10 minutes. So we are gonna get to this station. If y'all have seen my Instagram, you've probably seen this table a million times, but this thing folds in and out, which is fucking dope. The key with working in an apartment is like, you need things that can basically convert into what you need it to become. Like, space is key, right? So the more modular, the more compact things are, the better they are. All right, so here it is. You got the side hit right here. You got the DMB on the front. And thankfully, it looks fucking dope. So yes, here it is. All right, so I'm gonna show you all the whole process because that's what this whole video is about. So we're gonna unclip it. I just saw a question about something. Let's see, how do we get the chat back up here? I have no idea how to do that. I think I saw something about, did I tell him it was mine? So I saw him first as I was like sitting in the plane, and then I was like, it'd be kind of weird if I told him it was my shirt. So I waited until I deplaned and I didn't see him. So I just went back to the baggage claim, and surprise, surprise, he was at the baggage claim. So I was like, yo, where'd you get that? Like, I just went up to him. I was like, yo, dude, where'd you get that shirt? And he's like, oh yeah, I got this from Instagram. And I was like, dude, I made that. And he's like, what? No way. And then I gave him a free hat. So if you ever see me in real life and you're wearing something I made, I usually give you something if I have something with me. Cause like, I don't know, it means a lot to me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy to see a random person wearing what you make, especially when it's at on a plane or something. But okay, so we're taking the stabilizer off. This is the 2.5 ounce or 3 ounce, I forgot which one, but basically it's from Madeira. It comes pre-cut, so all you gotta do is fold it, and then we're gonna rip this off. And the thing with this design that I don't like, even though it's part of it, is that there's a lot of ends, right? Because you can see here, there's a shit ton of thread I gotta cut. And that's because on a design like this, each piece basically has to have a tie off or has to have a run stitch. And a run stitch is, you can kind of see it here between the letters, but the run stitch basically allows the machine to run without stopping, and that saves a lot of time in production. So it's not like you're being lazy kind of thing. It's just like a way to prevent the machine from having to basically tie a million knots at the back of the embroidery. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Like this one, because it's so small anyway, like even if there was no gap here, like you probably can't tell. So that's why you kind of let the stitch run. Versus like this, if you can see the stitches connecting, it will look kind of ugly and very unprofessional, and you're gonna have to cut it afterwards. So that's why there's a lot of tie-in points there. So if you ever see like embroidery with a bunch of like lines through the through different pieces, that's why. But yeah, so we're gonna get this right here. I have this little curved scissors. I use this a lot. And I do it with a trash can because that way I don't have to clean later. But it's kind of like shaving, mowing the grass. We're just gonna cut as close as we can. It doesn't have to be super precise, but just good enough, because we're gonna burn the threads with the lighter afterwards. And key thing is make sure you don't get too close to the fabric, because sometimes you can accidentally cut through the fabric, and once you cut through the fabric, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, I've done that before, obviously, speaking from experience. And then we got a lint roller. Always key to have a lint roller too. And yeah, just gonna lint roll this shit. It's not terrible, but we gotta do a little bit of a better job before we can burn the rest, because sometimes like if the thread's too long, it like actually burns the thread and creates like a burn mark. So this seems fine. I'm just gonna run the lighter now so y'all can see it. See, I don't know if you can see the threads like shrinking, but basically it cleans up the back a lot. And it's really up to you how much you want to clean this. Like, I don't mind if it's, like, to me this is acceptable because all the garbage is gone and nothing is hanging out. Maybe I'll do like a slight clean after the stream, but this is acceptable to me. Also, you don't even see this. A lot of hats that are professionally made, you don't see the backing because they probably just, they either leave a tearaway or cutaway still on, or sorry, they leave a cutaway on here and then they put like another fabric over it, or they try their best to clean it like this. And then another one here, we got the IKendoit logo. So we're just gonna snip the ends here. So as you all can see, one hat does take quite a bit of time to make. So that's why people have like multi-head embroidery machines, because instead of doing one at a time, I can do like 6 at a time, 3 at a time. But that wraps up the hat. Look at that. Drum base. And the logo is straight. It's that 3 degrees, the negative 3 degrees. Or sorry, positive 3 degrees. It's weird, I don't know why it's positive 3. Another tip is this thing here. It's called a snag nabbit. But basically, what you can do is, let's say like this D, right? I'm like, this could be a little bit cleaner. You stick this in here. You like basically grab the thread, and then it cleans up the letter. So it's a little bit more up here. Just make sure you don't stab your fingers. I stab my fingers a lot. But see, look, now the D is like super clean. So that's like the extra step that a lot of people don't see, is like I go through each one and I try to like clean it up, because I want people to get like a fucking nice product, you know? Like I really care about the execution. There's gonna be limitations, obviously. Like I can't do this as carefully every single time if I'm making like 30 or 40 hats, but I do try to go through them as carefully as I can. And also the run stitches I was talking to you about, you can also stuff them with this. So this D, I can grab the snag nabbit here. That's what it's called, a snag nabbit. Like it's a strange name. Then you pull it through, and then see, now you can see a gap. So this is a fucking lifesaver, a great tool to have. And another thing you should probably have is like a black marker, especially if you're doing like black on black or black on white. Because what happens is like sometimes, let's say like if the bobbin was showing through, there'll be like a little bit of white, and you just use a little bit of black marker and you can't even tell. So yeah, this hat looks good. And yeah, if you want to pick this up, it's on my site. It's been selling like crazy. Like I've been nonstop making these. So it's been quite awesome, and I really appreciate everyone's support, because some of my hats never sell, like the I'm tired hat, which I thought was gonna be a hit, but it wasn't. And that's what I mean, is like sometimes you think you got a hit on your hands, but no one cares, and then you just gotta move on. So yeah, that is the story. That is the story of the AsColour collab, the pop-up shop, and also the embroidery IRL. This video was 37 minutes, so it makes me think like, damn, how long does it actually take me to do these hats every single time I make them? But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know right now, because I'm gonna probably sign off to crank out the rest of the hats, just because talking about it and doing it takes me significantly longer than just doing it. And a pro tip with like any production is like, it's good to bundle your work. So usually I would like crank out all the hats, and then I'll do the cleanup afterwards, instead of like doing one hat at a time, because it's just kind of a waste of time to be standing there and like cleaning it, and then the next hat comes in. You know, it's like you don't stop moving, but it's not an efficient way of using your time, versus if you do all the hats, leave all the tearaways on there, but then have like one full session where you just clean and get through it. Like it just feels a lot more systematic. So that's another thing with like production, is like it's all about optimizing your process flow from start to finish. Yep. And that is it. Thanks for joining me. I don't know if you're still here, Attack Angle, but I appreciate your question. I'm guessing you got the email blast, so that is good to see. And thanks for recognizing that it was me. Because yeah. Oh, dope, you're in LA, cool. Yeah, AsColour is in Carson, I believe. So if you do a pickup order, I don't know if they have a showroom. They should have a showroom in Carson, which is between Long Beach and like LAX, so I don't know where you are at right now, but if you're in that area, it is kind of close, so you should go check it out, because yeah, they got amazing stuff. Like their blanks are fucking incredible. That was the first like nice shirt that I felt was right for me, like in 2017, because you gotta remember, back in the day, people used Next Level 3600, the Gildan, or not, yeah, Gildan 5000, Gildan whatever 1000, what else was there? Pulling a blank. American Apparel, before they sold or filed bankruptcy, and then also Bella Canvas is always Bella Canvas. Not the biggest fan of their blanks, but people like them, so they were around. But yeah, that was like the top tier, and then now you got AsColour made, LA Apparel, T-Styled is also pretty cool. Like there's a lot of dope brands, and I'm sure there's a lot out there that I don't even know about, but I just kind of know these work for me, so there's no need for me to explore more brands at the moment. But always keeping your eyes open for new products, because trends always change, and you gotta kind of go with the flow, but also like know what you want to make ahead of time, because that way like you can beat the competition. Like when I did my football jerseys, I knew I wanted to do it last year. I was still working on the fit for a minute, so I didn't put into production. But once I got the fit down and I got my samples, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run this shit. And the football jerseys have been doing really good. So, and I got to the punch before a lot of people did, because usually like the way I kind of curate my drops is like I look at Supreme, I look at Palace, I look at Kith, I look at some other brands, you know, that are like trending, and then see what they do, their product lines, and like what kind of colorways and all this. But for the most part, like black always oversells any other color. So if you're ever struggling, like, do I need to put 50 products on the site? Like, no, you don't. Just do fucking black, maybe a little bit of white for variation, maybe like one special colorway, like this matcha shirt. Like, people really like this one. I only have like 3 left now, so that's awesome because I got this screen printed. So there's a giant box that I'm trying to sell through. So if y'all want to pick up a shirt, go to IKendoit.Shop. I got the matcha shirt, I got my house stuff, got Vision, all the cool things. If there's any questions about equipment or anything, let me know in the comments, because I always check the comments and I will get back to you on here. And yeah, I just wanted to say hello because I've been away for a minute. It's been hard to find time to make YouTube videos, and I've been just conceptualizing like what I want to really talk about. You know, there's a lot of things that I want to do, I want to talk about, but most of that has nothing to do with like how to press a shirt, how to cut vinyl. You know, it's like there's so many videos of those online already. You don't need another person telling you how to do it. But those are the videos that get the most views because that's like a Google search, you know? So that's just kind of the conflict that I'm working with right now. But I saw a question. Quick Q, thought about having your product sold in Japan? Yes, absolutely. I'm actually going to Japan in a month. Yeah, so I don't know if you have connections, but hey, if you're a wholesaler, you're a buyer, let me know, because I do want to sell my stuff in retail. Like, I already know, I have so much confidence like at this point on my brand because I've done pop-up shops, like my online store. You know, I've been doing this for 3 years now, and like the numbers are already there. It's just like literally a numbers game of how many people I can reach every day, which is why I've been also increasing my ad spend, because it's like people like what I make, which is incredible, and I'm super grateful, but I need my distribution to be faster and like at a bigger scale. So yeah, if you are a buyer or a wholesale account, or you have a business that you want to sell my clothing at, let me know. We can work some pricing out, or even commission, doesn't matter. Obviously the terms can be negotiated, but yeah, I'm definitely open to it because yeah, I mean, I don't want to just sell my stuff on my shop. I want other people to be able to buy it. And I think based on the response that I see publicly, like it's pretty positive. And that way I can focus on like designs and, you know, product development versus all this other shit that I gotta do. So it's just a lot of fucking work. And yes, it's amazing. It's incredible. Like I'm grateful about everything, but yeah, it is a lot of work. And I'm just a little bit resistant of distributing the work to other people because I've hired some people to do certain parts of my business before and they have let me down. So that's why I'm a little bit reluctant on bringing people in. And especially like design is, you know, I'm the designer, like this is my brand. So for me to outsource design seems a little counterintuitive, but I'm always down to work with like other artists or designers who want to sell in my shop or something like that. So I don't know, food for thought for anyone else watching. But yeah, I do want to grow this. I do want this to be fucking worldwide, like not just America. I've had a good amount of purchases from overseas, especially for not advertising overseas. So thank you and shout out to all the international people, because I know shipping sucks. Like it sucks for me too, because it's not like I profit off of the shipping. You know, I basically have to pay the same shipping that you have to pay to get the shirt out here. And I also have a risk because sometimes people lose shit overseas. Like they're not as cautious or courteous as domestic shipping. Sometimes it's hard to believe that, you know, especially you see people throwing packages everywhere and shit, but at the end of the day, it's like within the country, you at least know it's within the country, versus once it leaves the borders, it's like, where the fuck did it go? But yeah, if you all do shipping international, just to kind of like add a little bit more onto this context, Ship Pirate is really good for international shipping. They have special rates for Canada. They have special rates for like under a certain weight. So if you are struggling with finding international customers because of shipping prices, like check out Ship Pirate. I really do like their international shipping program. You do have to reach out to them to unlock like the special pricing, but it doesn't cost anything. So just reach out, ask for it's like some kind of like, I forgot what the rate's called, but it's like a special rate basically. Yeah. So anyway, thank you all for stopping by today's stream. I'm gonna probably do more lives because like I said, this is more casual for me and I'm a casual dude. I don't like setting up the camera, getting the lights on, doing all this stuff. Like it just doesn't feel natural to me. and it's kind of like the more resistance I have towards the process, the less I'm likely to continue. And ironically, the last video I put out was called "You Gotta Enjoy the Process." So I am listening to my own advice. I'm enjoying the process. And yeah, if y'all don't have any more questions, I'm gonna peace out. But thank you all for joining me for today, and I hope you all have a good day. Peace.